Okay, so I switched some things around. Let's hope this fixes it. And there's no drop frames this time. I don't know how bad it was before, but I must have changed something in between. Anyway, so in case it skipped out, long story short, had problems with my computer the other day when I was streaming. Hopefully I fixed them since then. If the stream crashes, you know that it's because my computer crashed, and I'll be making some major changes to my setup if that happens, because I'd like to be able to stream more. Okay, so this video is going to get posted. The other ones did not, because they were really kind of test videos to see how the stuff was going to run. So I'm going to talk about a couple things, even though there's nobody online right now. I don't think anybody's viewing. I don't know if the counter's working or not, but some things that I would put in a normal video that wasn't live that I need to talk about. Number one, most people who are my subscribers, I'm sure, have seen the video that I made last year around, I think it was June, beginning of June or something. And it was with the problems with my son and his school and stuff like that. And I just kind of wanted to give an update overall, but more importantly, I wanted to thank a lot of people, because the video did get more attention than I thought it would. So much so that at a point I decided to take it down, because I didn't want... I don't know, it's hard to explain. I just felt it was best to take it down. So that's what I did. That's why the video's not on my channel anymore. Not that I don't, that it didn't happen. I'm not pretending nothing happened. It's just that it's the past as far as I'm concerned now. But I'm going to wrap it up for everybody who's interested in knowing what happened in the end. It wasn't pretty. It's not a great story. As far as a positive outcome, essentially they had a well, we did move, okay, obviously different place, so we did get the move underway, and I really want to just throw a thank you out there to everyone who cared enough to post a comment on the video, a positive comment. I will be totally honest with you guys. Once I posted the video, I could not read the comments for like a week afterwards. It was a very, very emotional time for me, as you probably noticed in that video. But after that week went by and things sort of calmed down a little bit, I did read the comments, and it was pretty uplifting. It was nice to read all the positivity that spewed from the negative situation I was in. And my family was in, not just me. I refused to let my girlfriend watch the video, because I didn't want her under any more stress than she already was. Anyways, so I just wanted to say thank you to not only the people who helped in the financial situation, but the people who helped in the emotional aspect of it as well. Everything was just as important in that time. We did receive some donations to help out, which was severely needed at that point, because we were not ready for a move. We were not ready for that. We could not afford it. We were already at a bad time in our lives financially, and some people reached out. I won't say all names, because maybe they don't want to be mentioned, maybe they do. I won't say any names, just out of respect for the people who did it, but just know, you donated it when we needed it, and I appreciate that. And I also want to say thank you to my Patreon members, because you guys, most of you have stuck through this whole year not knowing if I would be back, not knowing when I would be back, perfectly content with helping us through this time. And just waiting, and I appreciate that. I appreciate every one of you guys, and you all have pretty big hearts for staying around and not demanding that I come back. It's taken a while, and I apologize for that, but trying to get back on track here. And I know I came out with the big box theme and random things just to kind of keep me busy over the past year, but I'm really looking to get back to the rocket launcher stuff, because that has fallen behind amidst all this stuff. So I'm looking to get back to that. I know I promised a lot of people, and I have the voting thing up on my website, and I haven't done anything in a year now. So PlayStation 1, I believe it is. So I'm going to get started on that really soon. And I think it was PlayStation 1. I know Critical Sid wanted PlayStation 1. I don't remember if that's what was next. I'll have to check. So once again, thank you to those who donated back then, and those who donate now, and those who are Patreon members, those new Patreon members, old Patreon members. Some people, I looked at the list, and there's people who've been on there since 2017 when I started it, and it's just amazing how people are willing to support creators and you know, just stay there, just be there, and I appreciate it. So beyond that, the story goes that we moved, but before we moved, he had his expulsion hearing. Okay, we were lined up for an expulsion hearing for him, and so we went. And at first, it was like a pre-expulsion hearing thing they were doing. They had some guy in there, some smooth talker, old guy. I'm old, so when I say the guy's old, you know he's old. So there was an old guy there, and he's talking to us about how if we go to the expulsion hearing, we won't win. There's no chance of him staying in school. He's going to get expelled. It's going to stay on his record, this and this and that. And I was there to fight. I was there to basically tell them they could stick it up their ass, and we'll take this expulsion hearing. The problem is, it's not about what I was there for. It's about what the school was there to do. And his education is more important than, I don't know, revenge for the things that they caused to come down on us. So I went in there with the mindset as well that his education is important. So no matter what comes out of this, his education has to be the number one priority. And so we went to we went to this pre-expulsion hearing, and the guy's trying to talk us out of going to the actual expulsion hearing. And we had not seen the actual video that he made at that point. And I don't remember if I talked about the expulsion hearing on that previous video last year. If I do, sorry for doubling up, but I just want to catch up on the story here. It's been a while myself. I haven't talked about it really with anyone. So we had not seen the actual video at that point, and we told him that. We said, you know, how can we give you an answer if we've never even seen the video? You guys keep it from us. You won't show it to us. You know, all we have to go off is what he's saying. And for those that don't remember, it was a school project, and he wanted to do it on suicide prevention and preventing school shootings, and how if we talk to these people before these things happen, then maybe they can be prevented rather than talking to them afterwards and giving them prison time. And so that was the whole point of his project. And they were allowed to do a project on whatever they wanted, and he was really going for the shock value. He wanted to do that. And I think he misunderstood a bit. Now looking in hindsight, I think he misunderstood a bit that maybe as an adult you can go for shock value, and you can go for that punch where you make that video that just makes people put their hand over their mouth and say, oh my God, this was, you know, this really sent a message. But as a student, you just don't have that freedom. You don't have the same freedom. And I think he misunderstood that, and his video was very effective. It was very effective. I have the video now. I have a copy of it. I'm not going to show it, so please nobody ask. It's his private video. I would never do that to him. But so they showed us the video, And I'll be honest, I did get a little bit emotional there talking to the guy, because it was almost like he was talking down to us, like we were just some Indiana Hicks or something. I don't know, to where we weren't important to them, to where it was like he's talking about how damaging this can be to the other students and how it's interrupting their school time and blah blah blah, just this stuff. And I said, it was a project. How damaging is it to his school time if you guys are going to kick him out? And so the superintendent of schools was sitting at her desk right there. She's the one who clicked play on the video for us to watch it. And they weren't even really watching. It seemed like they watched it a million times already. But so I got a bit emotional talking to the guy, and I actually got really upset, and I basically told him that all he's done that whole time was crack jokes, which is what he did. He was trying to make light of the situation, and we came in serious about it. And so he's cracking jokes the whole time and trying to make light of it. And I told him that. I said, this is impossible to take this on a serious note and have us sit here and talk like adults if you're going to continue to joke like a child all the time. And we cannot, I don't remember the whole conversation, but that's about the gist of how it went. And I turned to the superintendent and I said, you know what, I'm probably the only one here who understands. And then I broke down because it was hard to talk about it. But I meant to tell them I'm the only one who understands the creativity behind what he was trying to do. Nobody else there works on a creative level. This man over here appears to talk to parents and crack jokes about serious situations. The superintendent is sitting at her desk. Nobody there works in a creative lifestyle like I do, and I understand the point he was trying to make, and I understand he was trying to push a point and be creative and be have that shock value. And I just couldn't get that line out. And when that happened, when I kind of broke down a little bit there in front of them, the old guy says, okay, let's go in the other room and we'll talk about it some more. He didn't want the superintendent to see me breaking down and talking about this. He didn't want it to sway her opinion on the expulsion if the expulsion hearing went through. So when we were walking out of the room, I looked her dead in the eye, and I can see that she felt what I was trying to say. I could see it. So we walked back to the little conference room they had, and he says, I remember why the next part. When we were in the office with the superintendent, I mentioned to him that the SWAT team came to the door with guns in my face, and he said, I didn't know about that. Well, no shit, dumbass. You're not supposed to know about that. That's personal. That's police stuff. Why would you know about that? So he says that. And I think that's actually what changed things in his mind, to take it a little bit more serious. Because then he knew that I was serious. So we went to the other room, and he said, okay, I'm going to talk to the superintendent and see what she says. We're going to try to work something out. So he goes to the other room. We're in there for about 10 minutes alone. And he comes back in, and they have this little document that he has this document that he made copies of, one for me and my girlfriend, one for my son, and it basically said that he will not get expelled for the following year, which is this school year. He would not get expelled as long as we don't sue. That's what it said. I mean, there was a lot of hokey pokey going on in the paperwork, but I'm pretty good at reading documents, and those are the parts I closed in on. We were not allowed to seek legal representation, and he would not get expelled. Unfortunately, he did get expelled for 1 day. They said they couldn't take that away, which made no sense, but they couldn't take that 1 day expulsion away. But if we go into the office the following year or the next year, we can ask them to remove it because it's not being marked down as a serious expulsion. I didn't know there were unserious expulsions, but whatever. He said that we can have it removed from his record, which we have every intention on doing. And we're going to take his word as a bond there that we can do that. So, as I said, I went in with his education the number one thing on my mind. And that's what we did. You know, we could have sued, possibly. But his education was more important than the money at that moment. And we could not afford a lawyer anyways. So it just made sense just to sign the paper, get him back in school the following year, and have it be done with. Well, didn't quite work out that way, because so we signed this paper and he gives us copies and he says, oh, I have to take the copy back from your son. And we're like, why? He signed it. And he says, well, you know, sometimes kids like to put the paper up on their YouTube channel and show off, like, hey, I got expelled, or hey, I had an expulsion hearing. And we're like, I'm thinking, that's not for you to decide. He signed that paper. I don't care what you think he's going to do. He signed the paper. But it was okay, because we had copies. You know, if we wanted to give him one, we could have just given him one. So it made no sense. He was just being a dick at that point. So we signed it and we were off on our merry way. About a week later, I found out that there was chat on Facebook in the high school Facebook page. People talking about how some kid came to the school with a gun. And one other person said, no, you got your facts wrong. It was a knife. And I have pictures of those posts and everything. I kept everything I found on this in case anything came up. Saying, no, it was a knife. And, oh, he's just some depressed kid looking for attention and all this stuff. And unfortunately, these kids in the school knew Dominic and knew that he had an expulsion hearing, and knew that it was because of these things and all that. They knew what was going on. And so we weren't going to have him in that environment. We were not going to keep him in that environment. Once we found out that it could be a hostile environment when he goes back to the same school the next year, we weren't going to keep him there. So we decided, since we were moving, that we would just transfer him to the high school in the next neighborhood. Because we were moving, literally we moved, I don't know, a mile from where we were living previously. It was in the next district anyways. Hello. So it was in the next district anyways. So we just transferred him to the other high school, and he went there. And oh boy, it was such a pain in the ass to get him in there. He had to get some permission slip from his first high school to be able to even go, to show that he wasn't expelled. And I had to get that paperwork and bring it to the school, and then I did. And then they were keeping him in the office for a couple days because they weren't sure. He wasn't able to go to class, and it was just this big thing. And the old high school was supposed to have sent them that paperwork, and they never did. But so I took care of that, and he was able to go to school, but under the condition that he was under probation for the first two first 2 quarters of the school year, I guess it is, or first semester. I don't know how that works anymore. It's been a long time since I've been in high school. But for the first half of the school year, he was under probation. And we're like, that's fine. You know, just don't do anything really stupid, and you're fine. You got out of probation, you make it there every day for school, on time, and we made sure that he was there for school every day. He didn't miss a single day. He wasn't late a single day. And then one day, we get a call that he was suspended. And he was suspended for 10 days. Now, he had a notebook. This is where it gets really messed up. He had a notebook, and he was writing out a list of some friends that he was forming a sports team. Okay, he's 16 years old. That's normal 16-year-old things. You know, he was writing his friends and making out a sports team in his notebook. And apparently, some of these kids, quite a few of these kids knew what happened at the other high schools, so they're already judging him the moment he walked through the door, by the way. But he's writing on a list for a sports team, and he left his notebook on his desk, and he leaves for the day, and a teacher found it, and he looks at the list, and I could not believe what the teacher said that this list was. I guess other students had told him what happened at the other high school, or he knew or something, and he was judgmental off the bat. And he said that it was a list of students that would be safe if he decided to shoot the school up.
Well done.
Yeah. So here the drama followed him to this other school. And he was expelled. They expelled him. We didn't even get a chance to go in and defend him. We didn't get a chance to do anything. And I think they had it out for him the moment he walked through that door, but they couldn't do anything. And they were looking for a reason to kick him out. So he got expelled. In the end, didn't matter what we did. So here we are. He's been out of school since Christmas. By the way, it was right before his probation was going to end, too. So how convenient for them. But he's been out of school since Christmas. We can't afford to give him homeschooling. It's expensive. It's I think it was $250 per class per quarter or something, and that's a lot of money when you're barely making it as it is. So we're hoping and praying that when his expulsion wears off, it wears off at the end of the school year, and he can go back to school. That next year they're not going to be judgmental anymore, and he'll be able to carry on his schooling like normal. If it were my choice and I had the money, he would be homeschooled for the rest of his high school time. I would not send him back to these schools because they're just hypocritical. It's wrong what they did, and they know it. But that's the story, and so he's been at home with me. And he helps me out with the baby and stuff. He's been good at home. So there's the conclusion to the whole story, because really that's the conclusion. There's really no more to it. Now, with that out of the way, for those that have been wondering for a while what the hell's been going on, because I kind of left everybody hanging for a year. Let's talk about my channel and future intentions for my channel and what I've been up to. First thing I should say is I recently had a hard drive crash, and it was literally 1 or 2 weeks before I was about to get new hard drives in my computer. A hard drive crashed, and it had everything I was working on at that current time. I had half of the PS1 soundtracks done. I had all of the startup screens for Big Box almost done for my set. I had some personal stuff for my arcade I was working on. I was making templates for 3D box images for all of my systems, and I was making 3D boxes for every game, and I had started, I was quite a ways through, and lost that, as well as some movies and music and stuff I had on there. It wasn't a big drive. It was like 750 gigabytes. Oh no, I take it back. It was a big drive. It was a 4 terabyte because I had it separated. I had 750 gigs for downloads and 3 terabytes, something like that, for personal media, let's say. The whole thing went out. So wasn't worried about the personal media because I can always get that again. I hope you guys understand what I mean by that. But I was really pissed about the download drive that had all my work on it. And I generally backed up my work onto a second drive, and that I hadn't backed it up for a long time, and sure enough, I'm like, I'm getting new drives in a week. I don't got to worry about all that. Yeah. Never underestimate what a dick hard drives can be when you least expect it. So I lost that drive. Now, future plans are to I do have some good news about it, though. For those looking forward to the startup screens for Big Box, those I did make a backup of on my actual arcade. I was looking through my files on my arcade, and I was like, hey, look at that. They're still there. So I still have those, but all the other stuff I was working on is gone, so I have to restart all that. And nothing sucks more than working on something for a week non-stop and then just losing it. It's pretty shitty. So I have the startup screens. I'm going to finish those. I have the PlayStation 1 media, I believe, or whatever is the top vote on my website. I have to check it to make sure. That's going to get done. I'm going to make it a point to get that done soon. And, of course, I've changed up my Patreon a bit, so Patreon members get, if you pledge, I think it was $5 or more, you get 2 weeks lead time on all Rocket Launcher media. So when I do finish that, it'll go to Patreon first, and then 2 weeks later I'll release it to the public. And what else am I working on? I have to do some more refried videos. There's probably about 30 that I have to do for the Ghost Lines themes that he did. I have to finish those up. I didn't actually start those. I put all of his artwork and organized it and stuff. That was one of the things I lost, so I have to get the artwork again and reorganize it to make the videos. One thing that I'd really like to do once I catch up on some stuff, another plan I had was my collections videos to make refried versions of my collections videos. Now that's going to take a lot of time to do because I have to reorganize the artwork a bit, because I'm taking the refried theme for the collection and trying to turn it into it's going to be a pain in the butt. But it is something that I'd like to do because, and the same goes for the developers videos, the genres videos, all of those things that I have out. I'd like to make refried versions for all that. I'm trying to get it kind of the same across the board. I did make a full set of refried marquees, and I did finish the subwheel marquees for Big Box, because ever since Jason Carr made the changes to Big Box where you can have specific views per platform, I was able to make XAML files for every collection and have a specific marquee. Because, you know, before the way it worked was when you browsed a collection wheel, if you have a marquee, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you browse a collection wheel and let's say you have, Bubsy, and you go to Bubsy 3D, and that's on the PlayStation 1, on the top, it would show the PlayStation 1 marquee with Bubsy 3D. And then you switch games and it's Bubsy on Super Nintendo. You would have the Super Nintendo marquee with Bubsy on there. And Genesis, or whatever it's on, and so on and so forth. But with the separate views per platform, you're able to now have it with a collection marquee there, so that it shows a marquee specific to that collection. I would show you on that, actually I could show you with the camera here, I guess, and show you what I've been working on with the marquees. Let me switch it around here. Okay, so there's a full screen. Let me play it at my arcade. Make sure you can see. Oh boy. I don't know how well you can see it, but so if I go into Afterburner, it has an Afterburner marquee. Boy, you can't really see that much at all. instead of the system marquee, it has the marquee specific to the collection. But anyways, that's essentially what I've been working on, or finished up. Actually, I'm not working on it anymore. Let me switch back. Okay. Alright, so I don't have very many viewers on right now. That's a shame. But I'm not really sure what I want to do with the rest of the stream, because I pretty much talked about everything that I want to do channel-wise for the future here. I also plan to stream a lot more. I plan to be active on the stream. Probably looking to stream 2 to 3 times a week. And same as before, play arcade, talk whatever. I basically just bullshit with people. Anyone who wants to come on and chat. And play whatever comes to mind. I'm pretty happy that we passed the 30-minute mark and the computer has not crashed, but I probably just cursed it. But I'll probably throw on a game here. Let me see what. I gotta really push it now. What can I play? Oh goodness, no. I'm not sure. I have MAME and stuff on here, but I'm kind of afraid to plug in the arcade stick, because it's just one more USB item, and until I can narrow this down to it being a USB problem or not, and making the necessary changes further, I don't want to take any chances right now. Last thing I need is for the computer to just crash and then I lose another hard drive because of it, or something stupid. Yeah, I'll play Anthem. What the heck? Why not? Got 0 viewers right now anyways. It's a Tuesday night, probably a terrible night for streaming. I would like to get set up on Twitch fully and stream on there with gaming, and then just save YouTube for the important stuff. Especially since YouTube has shunned me. They don't want me anymore. Is this the right well, this one works, I guess. YouTube took away my ability to make money from videos now. So I make nothing for this now. If you see me post a video on YouTube, I still have to abide by their rules, but I don't make anything from YouTube anymore. They took it away 2 months ago, and they said you can reapply in a month, fix your channel, and we'll consider it. Basically, that's what they said. And so I took a bunch of videos down. Let me make sure this isn't too loud. Took down a bunch of videos and tried to get my channel right, but I reapplied after that month. They said you can reapply May 1st, so that's what I did. Fixed my channel, reapplied May 1st, and they said it's under review. And so I waited and waited, and 2 weeks later they said there's not enough information to properly review your channel right now. We'll have to thoroughly review it, or some BS. And now here I am stuck in limbo for 2 months, Haven't made a dime from YouTube. It's not like it was, detrimental. I think I made, I'll be honest, probably $16 a month from YouTube. It ranged anywhere between $13 and $16 a month. Nothing major. I mean, it was a nice little tip to get every month, and it sucks that I don't get it now, but hey, what can you do? So now they're just kind of holding me there, saying I'm not worthy yet. They have to keep reviewing my channel, and they'll let me know. They'll send me an email when they've decided if I'm good enough to be a YouTube partner again. Which that could never happen. Who knows? Could take a year. But that's okay. I mean, if that's what it is, that's what it is. Like I said, I'm gonna still make the YouTube videos. I'm still gonna push them out there when I make them, and hopefully move all my gaming over to Twitch and make these videos nice and quick. I probably won't live stream on YouTube anymore, but I will post videos and updates and things whenever stuff happens. What is going on with the game? It doesn't take this long to load usually. I think it froze. Yeah, Anthem is not the most reliable game. I said some bad things about it the other day when I was playing it. I stand by those bad things, and now it's just proving that they get worse. See. Oh, jeez. Man, it doesn't even want to shut down. Oh, it's a love-hate relationship with Anthem. Stuck at the same spot. There was a while, like 2 or 3 days, where I couldn't even log into the game. It wouldn't even let me log in. It said that it couldn't find. There it goes. It couldn't find my avatar at all. It was after I had put in 2 weeks of work. I was kind of worried. Okay. Just go into expedition. Zero viewers still. So every time I stream on a Tuesday night, I think it's been the same thing. I'd get the one or two people that pop in and then leave. But I get zero viewers most of the time. I think most of my subscribers are either sleeping, working, or just not up for hanging out on a Tuesday night. Need to find some more people that play this. Maybe build a clan or something with me and 3 other people and do Grandmaster level 3. Maybe it'll make the game fun again. Sheesh, this person is dead already. I would help you, but I cannot reach you. If I go out there, I'm gonna die. This is the second, I think the second to hardest level of difficulty, so it's not easy by any means. This kind of stuff you gotta do to get the better items, though. Oh my god. See, there's a masterwork item already. But it takes forever. Looks like a legendary over there. What is that? No. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Just step out for a second. These guys are all over me. This is the ranger. The rangers aren't bad for killing singular mobs, but we get our ass whooped by turrets most of the time. Larger enemies are a little tougher for us to handle. Get off of me. This dude stepped in the way. Oh, jeez.
Keep going. You're 50% done.
Whoa. Ouch. Man, I'm getting stomped.
Let the echoes re-answer. They should be close.
Oh, man.
You did it. Really silence. Is there at the second minute? We'll know for sure.
Second round spotted.
It's well defended.
Thanks. I think you might be right.
Ouch. Whoa, sheesh. I am getting my ass stomped. This is what you do most of the time in these harder ones. You just hide.